Juan-o's world.
My baby mama trippin', she been going through my phone. Tired of me cheating, I can't leave these hoes alone. Hella pics, hella tips on my cash app. It's like, hold up a minute.
What up, though, y'all? Welcome to Juan-o's world. You know what I'm saying? Now, this story has been going on for a long time. I honestly didn't think Willie D was going to ever respond. But when he did that Big U interview, I knew he was going to have to address this because, quite frankly, Big U didn't do such a good job of making himself not look like a bad guy. And then the last clip of the interview, Big U goes on and say, yeah, I still got the same stripes. It's like, dog, if there was ever somebody, he should never, he's the epitome of why clients shouldn't take the stand in their own trials, even when they're innocent. Anyways, the allegations about Willie D, which surprised me. I never knew Willie D went to jail or was arrested for fraud or was supposed to do a year in jail in fed time, a year and a day, and didn't never have to do it. I didn't know that. But it happened. It happened. Let's check out the story, man. Y'all.
Wack 100, man. He makes a video to try to put me on blast, right? Dude reads my indictment, my federal indictment from 2009, calls me a snitch.
Yeah.
If you know anything about the streets, you know that when a person gets called a snitch, that's a really low blow.
Unless it's true.
And it's the type of stain that you don't want on your name. So when somebody says that, that's a serious accusation. Now, he arrived to this conclusion because in his mind, I could have received up to 20 years, but I only did a year. So in his mind, that means I must be a snitch. I had to tell on somebody. Now,
no, it was a little bit more in that paperwork, a part of that plea agreement, at least verbiage wise. That's why he was saying that it had to be some, you know what I'm saying? And then from my understanding in that paperwork, from the story that I heard, you didn't even have to physically do any time. And the case was put on hold for some years.
Some of y'all, a lot of y'all really don't know me. So let me break it down for you. I'm 58 years old. I've been in Houston most of my life. I lived in.
Hold on. Some of y'all really don't know me, I would have to say that's true, but I would also have to say the way you present yourself is of a manner in which it made it hard for me to believe that you was connected with some fraud. I see you more like an assaulter or maybe a strong arm, maybe some extortion, but fraud, that shit threw me for a loop to hear that Willie D was accused of fraud.
Azerbaijan, in another country, like on the Caspian Sea for 10 years. I lived in Paris for about 6 months, but most of my time has been in Houston. And you can't find one person anywhere, and I've been in the streets and I've done some real dirt in the streets. You can't find one person who can say that Willie D is a snitch. You never heard that in your life. So when he said it, it was so preposterous to me. I was like, it's disrespectful, but we're in the same business,
I've been listening to Willie D a long time. This is the most softest he went on somebody. And I can't even say none of the other instances where he went hard on people. That was true disrespect. But this was at least a dose of disrespect if you saying the allegations ain't true. And he said other shit. He ain't just accused you of being a snitcher. He implied about your habitry, which I'm not sure exactly what type of, the way he put it, it could have been anything from drugs to gambling that you was indulging in over there at that house on such and such street. I'm not sure.
I holler at him when I see him. No big deal, we men, we just, we have a conversation. When I see him, we'll have a conversation, no big deal, we get around to it.
Oh man, you ain't gonna kick him in his asshole, Willie?
And you are a rat. Let's turn the page to old Willie D. William James Dennis, aka Willie D, has pleaded guilty to wire fraud charges stemming from his purported sales of Apple iPhones through a company known as Texas One Wireless. United States Attorney Tim Johnson and FBI Special Agent in charge Richard C. Powers announced today. At a hearing today before United States District Court Judge Gray Miller Dennis, 42, a rap music recording artist, admitted to posing as an electronic salesman and using eBay to establish his credibility with international buyers.
I couldn't believe that. And then this is where this whole snitch thing get funny at, because who in your hometown is gonna know that you've been snitching and you doing international business, international fraud with these cell phones? The people that you told on, the chances of them being connected to Houston is like, but hey.
Once the buyer showed interest, Dennis directed the buyer outside of eBay to conduct sales via email. Numerous foreign individuals placed orders with Dennis, Willie D, for iPhones and other electronics. Dennis required payment to be made electronically transferred to his bank account. Once the transaction was confirmed, Dennis would send tracking numbers for packages that were never shipped. When the buyers complained about not receiving their purchases, Dennis would claim he had filed a complaint with the Postal Service or hired carrier that he could not refund their money until he knew where his goods were.
That's a damn good scam, ain't it? I never understood the iPhone scam, because my whole thing was like, well, when your customers get them, how do they cut them on, or are they just stuck with a scam? And well, anyway, I don't like scamming. That ain't my type of crime.
Eventually, Dennis would cease communication with the victimized parties. 29 individuals were defrauded of approximately $132,303 between September 2008 and April 2009. You are a crook.
That's his own reading somebody's paperwork, calling them a crook is hilarious, man.
Willie D. Okay, we're going to keep going because this gets interesting. Y'all pay attention. Financial fraud, whenever committed in person or via internet, victimizes individuals, communities, and the economy at large, says Powers. Those who feel these crimes can be committed with impunity will learn that the Houston area Cyber Crimes Task Force. You the first rapper that ever had the Cyber Crimes Task Force on.
And he's selling crypto now. I don't know, Willie. I don't know, man.
Right? Will continue to provide investigation and resources to combat and discourage internet fraud. Now, this is where it's going to get interesting. Dennis was arrested by FBI agent on May 13, 2009, as he returned from a trip overseas and was indicted on June 9, 2009. Dennis faces up to 20 years of imprisonment to be followed up by a 5-year term of supervised release and maximum fine of $250,000 for the wire fraud conviction. As part of his agreement with the United States, Dennis will make full restitution and or before sentencing. Judge Miller has set sentencing for April 23rd, 2010, 10 a.m. Now watch this. Dennis will be permitted to remain on bond pending his sentence. So 2009 to June, he boom. And then they like, we gonna wait a whole 10 months to sentence you. He's looking at 20 years. Okay. Let's go to the next document.
I mean, it is kind of suspicious, but it's not uncommon.
Here it goes.
That they wait a nice time to sentence you.
Now I'm telling y'all, sit down.
It's not too common either.
Y'all just heard what I read. Rapper Willie D gets prison time for wire fraud. Sentencing 10 months later after he been on the street working. He been on the street pulling up as Willie D from Rap-A-Lot, right? People ain't thinking this is serious because us as street niggas, we don't think about selling some iPhones on eBay and this shit could carry a dub. We don't think about these type of things. That don't add up to us. We think about dope, guns and all this type of stuff. Murder, conspiracy. But it carried a dub. Y'all seen it, right? They allowed him to stay out on bail, the feds, for 10 months before sentencing. We don't usually see that. I'm about to tell you why.
About time, nigga, damn. It took him a long time to get to this point. I might cut this out the video.
See that? I want y'all to see that. Okay, watch this. Rapper Willie D gets prison time for wire fraud. It carried 20 years. Rapper William James Dennis, a.k.a. Willie D, was sentenced Tuesday to 12 months and a day in federal prison for the wire fraud. Nigga, how much telling and lining up did you do in them?
That's a hell of a deal right there.
How much? Listen, Willie, I swear to God, I'm a fan. Bald head hoes.
Well, it's never exactly clear who did or didn't snitch because you would have to know who they told on, which is down there impossible because people never take it to trial. At the very least, I would say this suspicious. Do I believe Willie D is a snitch? No, but I didn't believe he was a fraudster either. So with that being said, you never actually get to know people how you may need to know people for you to actually be able to stand up for them. In my estimation, I would say something like that. But the preponderance of evidence and conjecture and plausible conclusions here kind of do point to the idea that dog knew what was going on and he pulled his moves. Immoral, very, very, very immoral. But what I feel like is disingenuous is Wack 100 been put this video out about you, but you just not responding. So you was never gonna respond to this at all. Why respond now, bro? Why? We out. You did all them episodes offering information and instructions, and not one time have you talked about your fails and failures. And I've been watching you on the internet since you touched on it. The only thing I think you fit, based on all I heard, the only thing you failed on was not buying that McDonald's back in the day, back in the 90s. But hey, we out.